Hey everybody, this is Misha and today we are reviewing Matth Hughes' Dreamscape Oracle. Now before we get started, I just want to acknowledge that this is a really cool Oracle deck because it was originally a Kickstarter that got then picked up by US Game Systems Inc. So it is available mass market. Some of the decks I review, if you didn't catch them on the Kickstarter, you may not be able to get them, but this one you can get in your friendly neighborhood bookstores, which is a really great thing. Or online, wherever you choose to buy your decks. So that's pretty darn cool if you missed out on the Kickstarter. So let's dive right in. This is the US Game Systems Inc. version. So you can see it's in a nice little, kind of the typical box lid, top and bottom that you see in a lot of kind of larger scale decks. It does have this beautiful gold all over it, and that is something that you're going to see all throughout the deck, which is lovely. Now, it does have a cute little book with it, and some people, it's in black and white. I don't know, that may bother you. I really don't care because what's important to me is the deck itself. I don't need colored pictures in the book, so I'm actually kind of glad that it's in black and white because that allows me to focus on the words, and each card has the title and then the meaning of the card, or excuse me, the story behind the card and then the meaning. That is really great because in an Oracle deck, it's really up to the creator of the deck in terms of what these cards mean. For those who may not be as familiar with Oracle decks, tarot cards, universally, generally speaking, the Tower is the Tower. The Empress is the Empress. The Two of Cups is the Two of Cups. We have universal meanings for those cards that pretty much all readers agree upon. But with Oracle decks, there's a card in here. Let's see if I can find it. The Serpent. Now, this serpent is based on mythology and stories, and the meaning of the card is beware of dishonest people, stay the course despite the stress. But for me personally, if I was making a deck, the serpent would have a totally different meaning. So it's really great that they did such a good job telling you in this book, telling you the meaning as well as the story behind that card, so you can kind of get an idea about what each card means. And sure enough, in the back of this, there's also a little spread and some information on what to do when you draw your cards, which is really, really nice. So let's check out the deck itself. So the cards are nice. Size-wise, this is actually my personal favorite size cards. I personally don't like them when they're too big because I like to be able to hold them in my hand and shuffle them. The back has the dragonfly on it, and in the book, the artist explains that they chose the dragonfly because this deck really is based on dreams, and the dragonfly for them is seen as a messenger between worlds, and you can think of that as upper, middle, lower, or you can think of it as the dreaming and the waking, however you want to see that, but that's why they chose the dragonfly for the back of the deck, which I think is quite lovely. Now, every single card does have that gorgeous gold, and all of them have different borders. So for this one, like on the architect, you can see that it has this border shape with the eye and the triangle, whereas this one, these are so pretty, has a little bit of a different shape. So they do have, each card has kind of its own environment with that gold border. Some, like this one, the knight barely has any outline at all, and other ones are a little bit more, there's that serpent card, are a little bit more ornate. So I think that's really neat too, because for me, these cards are so gorgeous, they could easily just like go up on an altar if you wanted to honor a particular aspect in particular. So I'll bring it up nice and close so you can see the detail. Now, Matth Hughes in the booklet says that this is intended as a standalone deck, but it could also be used with their tarot deck, which is the Ethereal Visions deck. And if you're thinking, wow, that has a really new age look, you are correct. Or excuse me, not new age. Whoa, it has a very Art Nouveau look, and maybe a little new age as well. You're correct. The art for these is super inspired by Art Nouveau. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it just is really, really beautiful. The first part of the deck is a lot of humans, which is nice. Allows you to tap in, with a few exceptions, to more human-based energy, but also deities. So here we have Death Mother, and we have human expressions of a lot of things like memory, And some of these are also based on different tales. So we've got Rabbit and Fox, the Shadow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, that card is gorgeous. There is a little bit of soft nudity, so, be mindful of that. The Seer, that's gorgeous. Oh, I love this. This is the art that's on the cover as well. So that's that art of the scales. And one of the things that the artist did say about this deck is that they really wanted to honor a number of different cultures and a number of different expressions of people. So you'll see that in here as well. Then when they are talking about the stories that inspired these cards, they also try to do so in a way that is very much not appropriative and really honoring the different cultures that the stories come from. Wow, these are just stunning. I'm blown away. So there we have White Buffalo Woman. And now we're sort of crossing over from humans into more some mythical creatures as well, like the Selkie. And then we've got animals. So the second half of the deck is, oh, wow. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see the shine, but for the koi, the scales are the gold on the card. And I love, this is so creative. I love the way the treatment of the outline of the water. That's beautiful. And we have elephant. So for this second part of the deck, look at the stars. The animals really shine. So what's nice about this deck is you get, there's 32 cards and you get some that are animals and some that are more like human based. So if you're someone that feels like, oh, I don't like reading cards when there's animals, this would be a good deck to kind of bridge the gap. And again, it's rooted in that idea, wow, glorious, of dreaming. So the author explains that these images on these deck, the images on the deck are sort of guides that can help you in your dreams, but also kind of really bringing forward the mystical into your life. And I think that that's a really beautiful way to think of them. I also really like the fact that the animals they picked are not what I would say are kind of standard in a lot of decks. So I think that that's really lovely as well, because you have some animals showing up that maybe you wouldn't necessarily see in a deck, like octopus, right? And harpy eagle. So I'm really enjoying the way the artist did the art, but I also really enjoy the subject matter of the cards, because you do have some cards in here like the Knight and the Light, but then you also have some like the Gate that you wouldn't necessarily think of. And again, this is imagery that maybe you'll see in your dreams, so that aspect is there, but it's also imagery that's just kind of classic to us in humans in general, in our experience of life. I also really like the fact that the animals are in here. For those of you that know me, you know I really like working with animal guides, and so I find that having the animals along as well can very much serve as a way for us to connect to our higher selves as well. So gorgeous deck. I mean, I'm drooling over the art and the expression of the gold so differently in each card, but just absolutely gorgeous. It fits great in my hand. The cards are, I guess you would technically call this matte, maybe, but they feel good. They're nice. The texture is nice. It's not slippery. It's got a nice grip to it, and they're not super thin as well. So I feel like they could hold up. And I just want to say again, I've got a little altar set up here. Let's just throw a card down. What feels like a good one? Ooh, I like this one, the Gift. So you can imagine, like, if you have an altar at your house and you just, ooh, let's focus that. Sorry about that, everybody. But you just put that down on your altar. Look at how gorgeous that looks. So I would say that this deck would be awesome in a reading, but it also would just be fantastic in an altar space, and just really thinking about, you know, what different concepts you would like to work on in your life and call into your life. These cards would be amazing significators if you were doing a reading for yourself or a friend as well. So that is Matth Hughes' Dreamscape Oracle. I hope you enjoyed this little review. This one's kind of a quick one because it is kind of a smaller deck, but really my main takeaway on this is it is freaking gorgeous. This is an amazingly beautiful deck, and I suspect it would be, you know, I think you could do this as a card pull a day, but I have a feeling that this deck is going to invite you to go a little deeper than maybe just, what do I need to know today? I think this is one that you could really use in meditations, in journeying, and certainly in journaling as well. So really, really beautiful deck. If you liked this video, please feel free to let us know, and we would love it if you subscribe. It really helps us out. We are a small healing arts center located in Sarasota, Florida, and we just love helping people to grow healthier. So thanks, y'all, and I'll see you next time.